The discipline secret 99% of people don't know. For years, I thought building discipline meant using brute force willpower, and I failed every single time. The problem is, we're all sold this idea that self-control has to feel like a miserable battle. But what if it didn't? Decades of psychological research have uncovered a counterintuitive trick that makes discipline feel almost effortless. And it's a secret hiding in plain sight. You know the feeling, right? You set a huge goal on Sunday, feeling totally motivated, only to find yourself back at square one by Wednesday? That was my entire life. I wanted to wake up early, exercise, eat healthy, and stop procrastinating. I'd binge motivational books, telling myself, this time I'll just be tougher, more willpower. But every morning, my alarm would go off and the war would start. My brain would instantly cook up a dozen brilliant excuses to stay in bed. Every afternoon, I'd be staring into the pantry, wrestling with the urge to grab a bag of chips. I honestly thought it was a moral failure. I figured I was just lazy or that I was missing that mental toughness gene that successful people have. It was a painful cycle. Get ambitious, fail, and then feel guilty about it. I felt like I was trying to swim up a waterfall, and frankly, I was getting tired of drowning. Then I stumbled across a body of research that changed everything. It all goes back to those classic studies from the 1960s, like the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment. We all heard the simple version of that story. Some kids just had more willpower than others. But it turns out that wasn't the real story at all. Later analyses revealed something far more interesting. The kids who successfully waited for the second marshmallow didn't just sit there, staring at the first one and gritting their teeth. They did something way smarter. They covered their eyes, turned their chairs around, or sang songs to distract themselves. They didn't win the willpower war, they just changed the rules of the game. They made the temptation invisible. And this was the secret. The most disciplined people aren't willpower warriors. They're masters of their environment, too. So here it is. True discipline isn't about strengthening your self-control. It's about making self-control irrelevant. It's about designing a world around you where the right choice is the easiest choice. We love to think our habits are just a product of our motivation. But the research is clear. Our environment is the invisible hand that shapes our behavior far more than we realize. What looks like a willpower problem is almost always an environment problem. Trying to stay disciplined in a space full of distractions is like trying to stay dry in a hurricane without an umbrella. You're just making it harder on yourself. The trick isn't to fight the storm harder, but to build a better shelter. So how do we actually do this? It really boils down to 3 simple steps. First, add friction to your bad habits. Make them a pain to do. If you waste too much time on your phone, don't just try to ignore it. Leave it in another room while you work. If you want to stop eating junk food, don't just tell yourself no. Get it out of the house. The choice is already made. The more annoying steps you put between you and a bad habit, the less likely you are to do it. Second, remove friction from your good habits. Make them ridiculously easy to start. You want to work out in the morning? Lay out your gym clothes the night before so you can practically roll into them. Want to read more? Don't hide a book on a shelf, put it right on your pillow. When the path of least resistance leads to something good, you'll find yourself drifting that way automatically. Third, use visual cues to your advantage. Half of your brain's resources are dedicated to vision, which is just insane. You can use this. Want to drink more water? Stop hiding a glass in the cupboard and keep a full water bottle on your desk. Want to learn guitar? Don't leave it in its case. Put it on a stand in the middle of your living room. These cues act as little nudges for your brain, triggering the behavior before you even have to think about it. And let me tell you, when I stopped trying to be a willpower superhero and started being an environment architect, it was a night and day difference. The struggle just vanished. I didn't have to fight the snooze button because my alarm was already across the room. I wasn't tempted by social media because I set up an app to block distracting sites during work hours. Healthy eating became the default because I prepped healthy snacks and put them right at eye level in the fridge. I didn't magically become a more disciplined person. I just started living in a more disciplined world that I built for myself. So the secret most of us miss is that you don't have to fight for discipline. You have to design for it. Stop blaming your character and start changing your context. Your environment will always be stronger than your willpower. So make sure it's working for you, not against you. If this idea of building systems for success clicks with you, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss what's next. Thanks for watching.